Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Force Talks Banter with Boyan, and today we will talk about different spirituality types. By the way, before I start off this video, I don't want to, misconstrue what this video is about. This isn't like me going to list different spirituality types that you can sort of pick out, determine your own, and so on. This is not what this video is about. This video is about essentially my thoughts about us having different spirituality types and how people really like to dogmatize their very own. So, the the fact of the matter is that the Lord made us all, and He made all of us very different, and thank God for it, because in God's garden there's myriads of different flowers, and all of us fall into that category. So what I've noticed, and this is what I mentioned just previously, is that our own spiritualities tend to reflect our own personalities. Now, tend. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes people switch because of, the way currents of life toss them to and fro, and they simply change their spirituality type. Now, what I mean by spirituality type, there are people, for example, who, have this sort of bread and butter spirituality. They say the morning and evening prayers, they do Jesus prayer on occasion, they read some Bible reading plan, they try to go to the church, I don't want to say as often as possible, but at least very least for the liturgy. However, there are very different spiritualities to this. Some people, for example, have very short prayer rules, in the morning and evening, but they love Jesus prayer a lot and they pray the Jesus prayer a lot. Or they might use some other prayer, for example, Rejoice, O Virgin Theotokos. Some people really like reading their Bible. They might read up to like an entire book of the Bible per day or something. Some people really like communal worship, and they will try to attend any and all services that their local church offers. By the way, these tends to be one of the favorite types by the priests, as long as they're not pestering enough. Some people like reading theological books. Others prefer like elders, miracles. A lot of people really like reading the lives of the saints. So there are different approaches to spiritual life. It's even reflected in our icons. Some people have like a single icon in their home, others have these elaborate iconostasises, and so on and so forth. And this does not even come into what our own sort of state of soul is. I don't mean like the amount of sin, even though that of course plays into it, but also, is it like joyful? Is it dour? And what I tend to notice is that people especially like to emphasize this emotional part of their spirituality. Like if somebody's like kind, happy-go-lucky, joyful, then people, the dour types, will be like, oh, these happy-go-lucky types, so they don't understand, they so easily ditch everything, and so on. And the reverse is true as well. When somebody's spirituality is like, let me put, dark, Christ never left, all the prayers are essentially asking for forgiveness and so on, then it's dark, depressing, and everything. And all of these spiritualities are fine, in my opinion. Again, the book of Ecclesiastes says there's time for laughter, there's time for joy, there's time for sorrow, there's time for war, there's time for peace. And St. Paul even says in his epistles, some people think that they can eat everything, some people think that they only should eat herbs, and that we should not judge each other. Sometimes, why am I making this video? Sometimes these types of spirituality sort of break through, and then we start really accusing each other of not really getting it, and then posting different quotes for their fathers. A Christian is never to laugh, and then there's like, a Christian is always to be joyful, and then whatever makes you have your attention on the Lord is the most important thing, you know. uh, and that's what it's really ultimately all about. um, I read, I can't remember who actually wrote it, but I think it's definitely in The Way of the Pilgrim, that the way people focus on individual words of the Jesus prayer tells a lot about them. Whether it's Lord, whether it's Jesus Christ, whether it's Son of God, whether it's have mercy, and, you know, for the longer version, on me a sinner. It all says about whether we're focusing more on the Lord, whether we're focusing more on the teaching of the church, like the Son of God, whether we're focusing on our own sinfulness. And none of these are bad. All of these are necessary elements, but because, you know, we're no angels, we can only have our attention at, well, a couple of things at most, and even then, it's not really good for us. Um, all of these are fine, you know, and I think we should be tad more forgiving unless we see something that extremely goes against the tradition of Christian piety. For example, mixing non-Christian elements with our prayers, something extreme as that, something that goes against the established practices of the Orthodox Church, like, you know, having exceedingly emotional prayers, or praying only when we feel like it, and so on and so forth. You all know all of this. But yeah, this was something simply something that was on my mind. Wanted to share that with you, and enjoy the rest of this Christmas season if you're on the old calendar with your loved ones. And I think that you guys on the new calendar are approximately in the Theophany season, so happy Theophany. Bye.